Ever wondered why Don Quixote do Flamingo always wears a smile even when he's causing havoc? One of the most intriguing characters from One Piece do Flamingo is a man of many faces, each more complex than the last. His role in the series is significant, and his character traits are as multifaceted as a finely cut diamond. His constant grin is a mask, hiding a depth of character that is as captivating as it is chilling. So, what's the true story behind this charismatic villain's perpetual grin? Let's dive in. Doflamingo's story begins with a dramatic fall from grace. Born a world noble, he was cradled in the arms of luxury, wealth, and power. These world nobles, also known as celestial dragons, were the most privileged of all, living above the laws of the world. However, this high pedestal was to be the very ground from where Doflamingo was thrown off, descending into a life far removed from his aristocratic beginnings. His father, a man of rare benevolence among the celestial dragons, renounced their status, seeking a life of humility and empathy among the common folk. But the world was not kind to the fallen nobles. Stripped of their celestial cloaks, they were met with hostility, an outpouring of the common man's centuries-old resentment towards the world nobles. This was Doflamingo's rude awakening to the harsh realities of the world. Thrust into poverty and violence, Doflamingo was no longer a prince but a pauper, a target of public scorn and hatred. The once revered name of Don Quixote was now synonymous with betrayal. The world that once bowed to him now spat at his feet. This drastic change from being a privileged noble to a despised outcast shaped Doflamingo's personality, values, and ambitions. His innocence was replaced with a vindictive cynicism, and his heart, once full of childish laughter, was now a breeding ground for anger and a thirst for power. These early experiences were instrumental in molding Doflamingo's vision of an ideal world. A world where he held the reins, where he could never be brought low again. His ambitions took a dark turn, fueled by his bitter past and the harsh lessons it taught him. He realized that in this world, power was the only currency that mattered, the only shield against humiliation and hardship. And so, Doflamingo, the fallen noble, began his ascent. He was no longer the naive child of a benevolent noble, but a man hardened by the trials of life. Despite the hardships, Doflamingo managed to rise from the ashes, forging his path with a smile. His fall from grace was not his end, but rather the beginning of his journey towards becoming a king in his own right. Doflamingo's rise to power was no accident. This is a story of a man who knew what he wanted and was unafraid to take it. Doflamingo wasn't born into the life of a king. He carved out his throne with cunning, ambition, and a ruthless determination that would make even the most hardened of pirates shudder. Let's take a moment to marvel at the journey of this character. From a disgraced celestial dragon to a feared pirate and then to the king of Dressrosa, Doflamingo's ascension was nothing short of a tumultuous ride. His rise to power started with an intense desire to regain the status he lost as a child. This burning ambition was what fueled Doflamingo's every action. But ambition alone wasn't enough. Doflamingo was a master of manipulation, a cunning strategist who knew how to play his cards right. He was always one step ahead of his enemies, and even his allies. He was a puppeteer in a world of marionettes, pulling the strings with an unerring precision that left everyone dancing to his tune. Doflamingo's devil fruit powers played a significant role in his rise to power. The string fruit gave him the ability to control others, an apt metaphor for his manipulative nature. He used these powers not only in battles, but also in the political arena, controlling the hearts and minds of the people of Dressrosa. It was his ruthless determination, however, that truly set Doflamingo apart. He was a man who would stop at nothing to achieve his goals. He was willing to betray, to kill, to wreak havoc, all in the name of power. His ruthlessness was not born out of malice, but out of a twisted sense of entitlement. He believed that power was his birthright, and he was willing to go to any lengths to reclaim it. Doflamingo was willing to do whatever it took to reclaim the power he believed was rightfully his. This is a testament to his character, a man who was driven by ambition, armed with cunning, and hardened by ruthless determination. The making of a king indeed. As the king of Dressrosa, Doflamingo was a puppet master, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Like an intricate web spun by a cunning spider, his reign over Dressrosa was not one of brute force, but rather of cunning manipulation and control that reached into every corner of the kingdom. Doflamingo's rule over Dressrosa was not simply a matter of power, but rather a meticulously crafted performance of puppetry. His ability to control his subjects was not just a testament to his raw power, but rather his understanding of the human psyche. He knew how to exploit the fears, desires, and weaknesses of those around him, bending them to his will with the precision of a master puppeteer. But it was his use of the string fruit that truly embodied his puppet master persona. This devil fruit power allowed him to control others, both literally and metaphorically, through the use of strings. These strings were not just physical manifestations of control, but symbols of the invisible threads of manipulation that Doflamingo wove throughout Dressrosa. His use of the string fruit was a mirror to his rule, invisible threads of manipulation and control that ensnared the people of Dressrosa. As they danced to his tune, oblivious to the puppeteer pulling their strings, Doflamingo sat on his throne, a marionette king in a kingdom of puppets. But even the most skilled puppeteer cannot control everything. Despite his mastery over manipulation, Doflamingo was not immune to the unpredictability of human nature. His reign was marked by moments of rebellion, of puppets attempting to cut their strings and reclaim their freedom. Doflamingo's reign was a masterclass in manipulation and control, but all reigns must come to an end. And as the strings of his control began to fray, the puppet master found himself on the brink of a fall, a looming shadow of rebellion threatening to bring down his meticulously crafted kingdom. But that, dear listeners, is a tale for another time. The downfall of Doflamingo was as dramatic as his rise. Don Quixote Doflamingo, the self-made king and puppet